I'd like to thank Chairwoman Brooks for convening today's markup to consider 3 bipartisan bills that advance the mission of this subcommittee, improving emergency communications. With every disaster, Americans get another opportunity to learn where we are, how far we have come, and how far we still need to go to ensure that during an emergency, critical information is shared with the public and among federal, state, and local responders. In the past year, we've had a number of teachable moments, from the Boston Marathon bombings to the Moore, Oklahoma tornadoes to the shooting at LAX. There are lessons to be learned about emergency communications from each incident. The bills we are considering today, the Integrated Public Alert and Warning System Modernization Act of 2013, the Social Media Working Group Act of 2014, and the Department of Homeland Security Interoperability Communications Act, each addresses lessons learned and should help improve the future responses. The measures that we will be considering today, if enacted, will ensure that we effectively access technology at our disposal to alert those in dangerous path, innovate to use social media more effectively, and move DHS forward in its efforts to achieving interoperability. I'd like to comment briefly about the interoperable communications problem at DHS. According to the Inspector General, DHS has invested over $430 million in communications since 2003, and DHS personnel do not have reliable interoperable communications for daily operations, planned events, and emergencies. The problem is not technology. Instead, OIG found that the Department had not put the protocols to ensure that the components put practices in place to achieve interoperability. H.R. 4289, the DHS-wide Interoperability Act, which I introduced with Ms. Brooks, directs certain actions by DHS leadership to drive components in the field towards interoperability. This legislation codifies the Undersecretary for Management's authority to issue policies and directives related to interoperability, directs the Undersecretary to develop a strategy to achieve DHS-wide interoperability, and to report to Congress biannually on the Department's progress. I thank Ms. Brooks for her staff for working with me on this legislation, and I urge the subcommittee's support. I think we make a good team, and we have worked well to this point. I also would like to thank the majority staff for their hard work in making today's markup a success. And with that, Madam Chair, I yield back.